Hi, and welcome to this tutorial on the Globe Observer app. What I will be doing is going through an entire overview of all the possible screens you might see as you're making sky observations. I will then show you like an actual observation you might have specifically so you can see how the sequence of the screens. So let's first go ahead and open up the app. And then what you'll do is you'll want to be pushing on clouds because that's the observation you're going to want to do. You want to go through the next things just quickly until you get to kind of the home page. And then it gives you a couple options. One of them is check satellite flyovers. And that would be a good thing to do before you go if you want to try to time your observation for when the satellite is overhead. Scientists especially appreciate if you're able to do that. Not necessary, but it would be kind of a bonus. But right now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and push the new cloud observation because we're going to go through all the different possibilities here. First, you're going to just see your time, your date, your latitude, longitude, and a map. So that just tells them where you are located. And then we push next. And then you have three options. And I'm just going to go through each one so you get to see at least what's in each option. So we'll start with the most unlikely observations, which are on the bottom, the obscured. And as you can see here, you have different types of scenarios that you might encounter, probably not, but just so you see what the options are. Okay, and then now we're going to go ahead and look at the second most likely one is the clear sky. So push on that one, and then you would have to fill out the color of blue that you see, as well as the sky visibility. Finally, the most likely one you're going to push on is the clouds or contrails. First, you're going to be asked what percentage of the whole sky is covered by clouds. So you've got to look at all the quadrants all the way around. You have different options there. And then, depending on what number you use, if you use anything between 0 and 50, it will actually ask you the color of the sky. If you do higher than that, it will actually not ask you that. But let's just do one just for the sake of seeing the options. So we'll just say it's blue and then it's clear. And let's go to the next. So now you'll be sent to the potential way of identifying the clouds. I would use the guided cloud identification wizard. It makes it so much easier for you. First, it has an introduction that you can go through. I'll show you that. You only have to do it once, and then after that, you don't have to, and you can just skip it. So this just shows you how to go about looking at the clouds. And then it says, let's get started. First question they're going to ask you has to do with contrails. Whether you see them or not, you would just add a number if you do. Let's just assume we didn't. And then it has a series of questions. And I'm just going to run through these at the top so you get to see the questions about thunder, lightning, or heavy rain, whether it's drizzly, whether you can see puffy clouds that are the size of a fist, thumb size, pinky size, whether you see uniform clouds that cover the entire sky with no sun, or if you see the sun dim in a gray sky, or you see a skylight with a halo around the sun, or are there white wispy clouds that look like white delicate feathers? So basically you'd be answering yes or no to that. And if you do, then it will then send you to asking specific questions about that. So let me just go ahead and answer a couple of these questions so you can see a actual observation till its finality. So if I answer no to thunder or lightning, answer no to drizzly, and let's just imagine I do see some puffy clouds with about fist size, so I'm going to answer yes to that question. And are there individual puffs? Let's just imagine I did see that. Then it will actually identify the cloud as cumulus. So once I have that, then I can push done. And then that adds, they say, nice job, your cloud is identified. And then I can push next. It says, nice job. And then they actually ask you to do a quick check. And I had pushed in cloud cover at one point, just to kind of double checking on that. And then they're going to ask you about surface conditions. You have to answer these questions about snow and ice. I'm just going to go ahead and go through this so you get a sense of it. Is there snow or ice? Okay, there's no on standing water, no muddy, yes, dry ground, yes, leaves on trees, no raining or snowing. And then the final question will be about taking pictures or not. Now, it would be really helpful for them if you take pictures, but what instead of adding them manually, just push the thing that says take pictures if you're going to do this. Because what you'll see is they're going to ask you to rotate your phone, and then you just put the west, east, south, or north into the circle by rotating the phone, and then you actually take pictures of all the different cardinal the west, east, north, and south, and then you can submit that. So that's kind of an easy way to do that. Once you've finished taking pictures, then you will be actually, and I'm going to just skip it for now so you can see what happens. Then what you're going to see is you can send your cloud data in. So I'll send my cloud data in, and then it'll indicate that I've had an observation collected. So basically, that's how you want to use the Globe Observer app in particular to measure clouds and submit them to the scientists.